on my side. Let's begin. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Can you all
Welcome.
hear me well?
Yes.
Yes.
Can hear you, but can you hear me in return?
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so let's begin. So remember to turn off your cell phones, or maybe to be on mute if there's any surrounding noise wherever you are. And just to remind you that the purpose of Agora Speakers International is to improve our speaking skills, our communication skills in English, and that we are here in order to fulfill that purpose. Are there any guests today, new people who are joining us who haven't been in previous meetings? None? No new people today? No? Okay. All right, so we're going to proceed with today's agenda, okay? Basically, what I'm going to do is at every role in the agenda, I'm going to introduce the person, and the person will tell us a little bit about what their role is about, right? And then we'll take it from there. So according to the agenda that I have, we are going to begin with the role of the timer. It's very important to take heed or to be aware of the communication that we receive from the timer, because she's the person, in this case Lisa, who will be able to control every intervention, speech, or discussion according to the times that are provided. Okay, so without further ado, Lisa, the floor is yours.
Yes, so hello everyone. As you know, each speaker have a limited time to deliver their speech. So my role is to record that time and remind you guys of how much time you have left. So when you see a green background on my screen, it means that you reached the minimum required time. And then the yellow background means that you're still safe, but you should quickly finish up your speech. And then finally comes the red background, which means your time is up. So do pay attention to my screen. And now the purpose of the recording your time is so that you will be able to improve your time management skills. So yeah, back to you, meeting leader.
Thank you, Lisa.
Welcome.
Just a quick question. Are you okay to share the screen? Because that was one of the things you asked. Is everything okay for you?
Actually, I will choose a background just like this.
Okay. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, so next we have the grammarian, and that is Toraya. So when you're ready, please let us know what your role is for today.
Can you hear me first? I don't know if am I audible. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
It's a little on the lower side, but yes.
Because unfortunately I don't have a microphone.
Okay.
But anyway, I try to raise my voice. So usually my role is to evaluate each one of you, the correct use of grammar, the pronunciation, of course, at the end of the session. But first, let me share with you the word of the day, which I prepared. First, let me. So, I'm gonna share. Yes. So this is the word of the day. The expression is to be tickled pink, which is an idiomatic expression used to in informal English to express our good feeling about something that usually we receive as a surprise. So here I have a made example. Amy was tickled pink when she found out that she had won the photography competition. So it was out of the blue, so something, a good surprise. And I have uh, I have also prepared another thing, a structure. I called it structure of the day, uh, in which we learn how to use the inversion in your speech in order to make emphasis on your feeling as you speak. So we have so plus adjective that we use the inversion. That is, we inverse the subject with the verb. So instead, as the example says, the girl was so beautiful that nobody could talk of anything else. We say, so beautiful was the girl that nobody could talk of anything else. And the other example is, so delicious was the food that I ate every last bite. So use this inversion structure to make your speech to catch your audience with acoustically ringing out sentences. Try it out. Thank you. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toraya. Okay.
How to go back from the...
All right. From sharing the screen.
Yes, how to go back.
There should be a button which says stop
Yes.
sharing in French, probably.
Oh, I don't find it. Sorry.
It can be in the upper line.
Yes, I'm searching, but I don't find it. How's that? Ah, okay. This one? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so now we're going to go to the next role, and this role is by Arely Gallegos, and she's going to be talking to us from the topic Today We Travel To. I'm looking...
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arely Gallegos, and today I will speak about my topic for today. I'm really excited. It's Today We Travel To. I'm supposed to choose a topic with denomination in that area and try to make it informative and a positive side of the specific topic that I'm going to talk today.
Okay. All right. I believe that you can go ahead.
Oh, ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. All right. Today we travel to Madrid, Spain. Yay!
Yes.
My favorite part of Spain. Bullfighting is an important part of the Spanish culture that I should be preserved. And I believe that should be preserved. It started in the 20th century with icons like Ernest Hemingway to Federico Garcia. It's also considered an art form. Perhaps it's one of the most well-known sports that include or involve the killing of animals for entertainment. The bullfight sport, it started its March to October of each year. A bullfight, it's a very big, it's strong animal that absolutely one person cannot kill it by himself. The toreros dressed with this beautiful, colorful suit of light, which is traje de luces in Spanish. And el ole, of course, it has to be on that scene. Each individual fight consists of 3 different stages that last at least 20 minutes each. And that event consists of 6 bullfighting, which it lasts 2 hours. The whole event lasts 2 hours. The first stage is tercio de varas, which is spikes or toro lances. The bulls enter to the ring and it's tested to the matador to allow to see how it behaves, how furious this animal is in the arena. And then 2 picadores come into the ring with in a horse and stab the bull's neck. This makes the bulls to make a little weaker and actually make it less dangerous to the matador. The second stage is tercio de banderillas, little harpoons, that's what we call it in English. 3 bandilleros comes into the ring and this one will stick a sharp stick into the shoulders of the bull, and the bull, once they stick the little harpoons into the shoulder, it will make the bull angry and weak also. The third stage. For some of people, this stage is fun, for others it's not. This one is thought of death, where they kill the bull. The matador actually will kill the bull at this moment. The matador entered the ring carrying a sword and a red cape hanging over a wooden rod. The main purpose of the matador is to kill the bull with the sword, but sticking the sword into the bull's shoulder's blade and into the heart. So, as we've seen, the matadors, they do risk their life just to tackle this mad, furious beast in the arena. So remember, bullfight is an art form and also it's a part of the Spanish culture. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Areli. Thank you for your intervention. Now we are going to the next section of our agenda, and I hope our next speaker, Clyda, is tickled pink with her intervention, as she's going to be giving us our thought of the day. Clyda, are you ready?
Good evening. Yes, I am ready. First, my name is Clyda, and I am from Albania, and I am a law student. The role that I have chosen for today is the role of the thought of the day. The topic is criminal behavior. Is it born or is it acquired? Crime is a phenomenon that dates back to antiquity. With the birth of man, we can say, if as a basis we would take religious doctrines, that it dates from the with the birth of the man. The forms in which this phenomenon has appeared has been different in different periods of history. Looking at the extent of this phenomenon to this day, the question naturally arises: what are the factors that influence the occurrence of this criminal behavior? Are these biological factors, or are these factors that are acquired during the development stages of the individuals? These criminal behaviors have been studied over the years by individuals who have been professionals in various fields, such as doctors, criminologists, lawyers, etc. Cesar Lombroso formulated the theory of the biological-based crime. He says that criminals were people who were born with a criminal gene and exhibited criminal behavior. According to him, there is a type of criminal man, some anatomical, physiological, functional signs in particular individuals. Another theory states that the occurrence of criminal behavior is influenced by three factors: biological, social environment, and physical environment. Another theory states that social environment fits the culture of crime and the criminal is the germ of this environment. Another theory, formulated by Gary Becker, states that every rational being, when making choices, makes the choices that bring him the most benefits, even though that behavior may be a criminal behavior.
Quiet, I think you muted yourself accidentally.
Okay, sorry. Another theory states goals are common to all, most of which require education, wealth, personal property, power, a more privileged position, but not everyone has the opportunity to achieve these dreams and be successful. As a result, people who fail to realize these dreams and are not successful feel insulted, frustrated with society. Occurring in such positions, some people do not accept this situation and choose alternative means to achieve the goals, and above all, involvement in crime. Okay, that was what I had prepared for today.
Thank you, Clyda. Okay, so I would like to apologize because, so novel was my intervention today that I forgot to give back the floor to everyone to give feedback on Today We Travel To. So with your permission, could you kindly give feedback to Areli on her intervention on Today We Travel To? And Clyde, I apologize to you as well, because then we'll have to give you feedback afterwards, okay? So let's begin with Areli with her intervention or her mini speech on Today We Travel To. Anyone to give Areli's feedback?
Yes, can I? Hello guys. I'm really glad to see you, and I want to make something good word, because Areli is always looking so perfect, and if be honest, I try to do it, but sometimes it couldn't be with me. And her speech is so interesting about Madrid, about Spain, because when she told this, her eyes was so bright, and I think she likes to see this, and she knows her history, its history, when it starts, and her gesture was also perfect, because she wanted to give us some information that she likes.
Okay, well, thank you, Liana.
Thank you, Liana.
Okay, anybody else to give Areli feedback on what she talked to us on her topic today?
If you let me, I can say some words. You did it in an interesting way, Areli, and you were really expressive and emotional. So it was interesting to listen to you. However, I still have a different strange feeling, because you were describing everything just step by step, and I was just imagining this animal dying. So, and you were so happy saying, one person can't kill it. I was saying, oh my God, it will die. So when I could only listen to your voice with not understanding what you are talking about, I would be really happy because he was happy about the topic you were talking. But it was difficult for me to listen to these details, to be honest, you know, because just something that was alive and human being decided that it will be dead in 2 hours. So it's just difficult
Yeah,
to go through all this in the imagination.
that's
But
why
you did it well.
believe it or not, it was hard for me to choose the topic because I went into that arena already just to look what it is inside and just to see that traje de luces or the suit is beautiful. I love it. Because if you choose next time, my advice for everybody else to do this section, travel to, just choose something that you like and something that you maybe know about it, and then you will become passionate about it and you will know little details. It wasn't so hard for me to do it, but actually it was hard for me on the part that imagining how these animals die. I really don't really want to go to a bullfight.
It's painful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me say as well, Sarah, if you allow me a couple of things.
Yes.
First of all, I love how expressive you were. I concur with Olga. It was just watching you overflowing, tickled pink with pleasure, as if you yourself were killing the bull there with all the gestures and all the gory detail. The only thing that was missing was the description of the blood spilling on the arena and blowing. Uh, Definitely, the delivery was very well. Well, I would improve a bit. Let's say the pauses and to add more drama if you want, and and varying a bit the tone, the vocal variety, the tone, because it was a bit monotonous. But going to the content, by the way, it definitely shows that you love Spain. Again, you choose a topic related to Spain and to Madrid. Now, going to the content, if your collective is the toreadores and you want to transmit something positive, that's not clear in the documentation. Maybe we should expand on that subject. Then ideally you should pick something that you like and that is not the thing they are being demonized for. Because if they are being demonized for the fact that they torture animals, it is going to be counterproductive to be describing in detail how the animal is exactly tortured, because that only probably will reinforce the feeling of people that abhor these kinds of things. Instead, for example, if you want to go with that same topic with this topic for this section, you could have chosen, I don't know, the training of the toreadores, their traje de luces, something completely unrelated to the thing
Oh, okay.
yeah, because your goal is instilling positive feelings into the audience about the collective,
Okay,
not the
yeah.
opposite. So to make an analogy, imagine that I don't know, people that you're trying to convince racist people not to, I don't know, not to hate black people because of their color, and all your speech is about how black they are. That is going to be a bit non-productive. So it's a bit the same thing. But I love your delivery, to be honest. Well done.
Okay, I thought it was important because I know it's a big part of. Oh, it said choose something about the culture, so now it makes sense with what you said. You know, try something the training or something else about the history, maybe.
Anything, their life, their risk, their sacrifices,
No,
how much
like
time they
good.
spend in hospitals, their family life, whatever.
Okay.
Anything but focusing the attention of what's the pain point, basically, of that
Okay.
collective.
Thank you, Alexander.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for all that feedback. Now, I hope that you can still remember the intervention of Clyda with her thought of the day. And it would really be nice if you could just give some feedback on her speech according to the speech objectives, okay? So, who is ready to do that? to give a feedback.
Okay, I can start as well.
Yes, please.
As always, never being wanting to shut up. I like the subject. Quite are you there, by the way? I hope so. Yes, yes. So I like the subject of your speech. It's always interesting to pick controversial subjects and let's say the discussion whether something is innate or is learned, like especially criminal behavior brings connotations of things like Minority Report and all that, whether we can predict. I, it was very dense, it was packed with information. What I didn't understand exactly is because I think you transmitted both viewpoints. I was I was left a bit doubting about what your personal viewpoint is, because I don't know what your goal was. Maybe the goal of the speech was merely informative, in which case, well, we did receive a lot of information and both sides of the debate. Or maybe it was persuasive, I don't know. It didn't seem a persuasive speech because you didn't say your own opinion and you didn't seem to endorse any particular viewpoint. That's on the content. And on the delivery itself, I don't know if you were reading the speech or if you were just saying it, but it did sound a bit monotonous in that regard. And there was some language that is very specific for written speech, that is, let's say, sophisticated and elaborated to a point that you don't use it in oral speech, in oral communication, sorry. I don't know if I am very far from the truth, or and one thing I would try to improve as well is the fluency. Same thing to Areli, although not to that extent. Try to insert more pauses and try to vary your voice in order to at least separate the different parts of the speech, because for me it wasn't clear, let's say, what was the internal structure and what was the core message that you wanted to transmit.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. Now, so unpredictable is the next part of our agenda that I hope most of us will be tickled pink as we listen to the people who will take part in this section. And now I'm introducing Uliana, who will be our hot questions master. The floor is yours, Uliana.
Thank you. Hello, one more. Today I am a hot question master, and I prepare some questions, maybe ridiculous, maybe hot, I don't know. And I want to remember you that when I ask you the question, you can take some 10, 20 seconds to find something in your head, and after that answer. That's all, I think. I can start, Sarah?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Agora, yes? Yes, hello. You will be the first. And I want to give you a question. I think in your country you still have a quarantine?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And what first will you have done when quarantine outbreak is finished?
I would like to go in holidays. I would like to travel. I graduated from since 5 years, I think, and I worked hard to afford my own holiday. So I'm very excited to go in holiday. This is the first thing that I wish to do. I hope to do.
Okay, and what country will you choose? Hot or maybe with summer, something extreme for you?
Actually, I already booked a ticket to Turkey. But if I will be obliged to delay, maybe I will change the destination. I still hesitate between Spain and Italy.
Okay, okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, who is the next? Who is the next? Oh, Sergio. Sergio, hello.
Hi, Juliana.
It's for you. Question: if today you decided to change your profession, what you want to do, and what is your occupation today?
First of all, my occupation today is that I'm a lawyer. And if I would try to change occupations, the answer is easy. I would like to be a veterinarian because I love to help animals in all kind of aspects. I have thought about that question before. That's why I answer so quickly.
Okay, thank you. And maybe do you have some pets at home?
Yeah, I have a dog. Actually, she is a she. She made me thought about that change of occupations.
Okay, okay. It's a good company at home, I think.
Yeah, the best one. The best one.
Yes, and okay, thank you. And maybe Naval, hello, hello. Can you?
Yeah,
can you
can
hear? Yeah, okay. Because your voice is not good. Can you tell one more
hear me
hello?
right now? Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, and something about your friend when your friends. What about your behavior to your friend when your friend divulge your secret for everyone?
I would kill them. So this is the first answer. Okay, first, I should talk to them. Why? I have to know the reasons why they spread my secrets to another one, and then if they were very, very close, maybe I will forgive them. If no, so we go for it. We won't talk anymore, and I won't share my secrets with them anymore. Otherwise, the first solution is the closest one, by the way. This is it.
Okay, I prefer to give my secret to my hamster because I think nobody will know to know it. Okay, thank you.
It's much better, yeah. 1 second, thanks.
Okay, yeah, I think I have time for the next question, and it will be for Lisa. Lisa, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
Something about okay, something about one more about friends. It's because I have many friends, and the the last problem I have with my friend. I don't know how to do with it, and I want to ask you what to do when your friend wants to borrow a huge amount of money.
Mm.
Don't
Yes.
worry. Can you take some some second to find solution?
Maybe I will think about their position first, their situation. If they are in deep need, I will help them, how whatever my position is, and if it depends on what they are going to use it for, and then I will look into my position. If I have, if I will be able to help them easily, why not? I will do it. How do I say this? I will do it for sure, with pleasure, and I think that's it. It depends on the situation of my friends and mine also, but on their situation, for sure. That's it.
Okay, thank you, because I have some things and I don't know what to do with my friend, and I give her my feedback that it's taboo for me and for her for money, and maybe I choose something different. Okay. Olga, can you hear me?
I hear you, and now I can answer even.
Yes, you are my neighbor. Yes, because our countries are border, and we can I think we can understand each other. And what is your bad habit?
I'm a smoker. To be honest, I hope this is the most horrible habit I have, because when I'm in stress, I smoke sometimes 2 times an hour. And even at home, when I'm studying, I smoke at least once in 2 hours. So I understand that I smell with a nicotine, and I don't think it suits me, as I am a woman, and especially in summer when you go somewhere in a nice dress on the heels, and in a minute you just take a cigarette and look like this. So I don't think it's nice. But this is a habit that, and I don't have enough internal power just to stop smoking. But to be honest, from the other side, I have never tried to stop because I just don't feel for this. So I just took myself as I am, and I'm not ideal, and I hope it's really the best habit I have. Oh, the worst, not the best, the worst habit I have.
Okay, thank you. I think maybe if you choose it, everyone must do it.
I hope that I will stop once, but it's about the decision. So I just need to make this decision.
Yes. I wish you that you do it, will do it, and to change maybe this bad habit in good habits, maybe jogging. When you want to smoke, you start jogging.
I would be jogging from the morning till late. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And something more about childhood for Touraya. Yes, Touraya.
Yes.
Okay. And today I have some problems with my children because they all time spend with gadget phones and computers, and I know this, we record our speeches, and I told them that I give you some question about your childhood, how you spent your childhood without phones, computers, and some stuff.
It's hard to tell you because I spent my childhood watching a lot of TV, a lot of series, but cartoons. Sorry, cartoons. I was a cartoon addicted child, but it made me. But the cartoons of the old days, you know, that they were very educative. They taught us many good principles, how to be honest, to do good things. So my advice to you is to really I think you should dig on the YouTube what was the or what were the best cartoons that would probes maybe good values to learn and have them watch them at least one time per week, or you could punish them by making them watch good films or good cartoons, because they grow sense of imagination and a good heart sensation. It was a good. It was a good. The second thing that I would suggest is to drug them to read as often as you can. Buying them. You know, the drawing books or anything that, or read to them before they go to sleep, so as they can grow maybe they could be writers sometimes. Reading and sharing good content is I think it's essential for a child um, to have to be educated well, and to instill in him or in them good values. And also your behavior is very let's say it's very informative and very insightful for them. So if you recommend they don't lie, you shouldn't lie in front of them, and so on. So these are good advices, I think, to good good pieces of advice that I recommend for your children.
Okay, thank you. I think you had a very rich family, because
No.
you will have a TV.
No,
you had a TV,
we had
and
one TV. No, we are average.
family.
Middle
Okay.
middle 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 one family. We are average. We have average income, but we offered one TV. And it was my own entertainment at home.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, ladies, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for my craziness.
Awesome, very good. Well, Areli, will you give us feedback on the hard questions?
Yeah. Yeah, the questions were more like I won't say hard, but they were so easy. But I would like to see a little more. There's nothing wrong with it. They were good, but I would like to see a little more about businesses, or about more like hot topics, like for make them think a little more, not like a personal, but a little more strong questions. And on the answers, I think everybody else did a really good job answering about their topic or what she asked, but the one that I believe that actually did a really good expressive one was Soraya. It showed like emotions, and it shows like that question actually it was just right for her. But that's the only thing I have. Like I would like to say like more about not just about your life, but more about like what's going on now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your feedback. And I want to say that I knew some information about Sergio, about Turaya, and it's interesting to new information because we meet each other, and sometimes I think. What is your occupation? What you did? What you do now? Sometimes I think about it. That's why maybe I choose this question, and I want to find out who you and another person of our speeches.
Okay, now I get it.
Okay. Thank you, Aurelie. Thank you, Liana, for that intervention, for what you contributed to our meeting today and agenda. Next, we have a very interesting, all of the parts have been very interesting, but a more formal part of our Agora speakers meetings, and this is a prepared speech. So Olga is going to be giving us a prepared speech, and I would like all of us to pay close attention and give us all our positive energy to deliver it as we've done with all the other speakers. So the floor is yours, and I hope this moment is what you've been waiting for and that it's going to be rewarding. Olga.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone, once again. As Sarah told you, today I do the project. This is the second part of the project speech structure. For the first part, I had to prepare to find the speech and make the analysis of the structure. And for today, I prepared and will deliver a speech with a clear opening, body, and conclusion. So this is a point you need to be concentrated. What does the story mean for you? Is it a story about adventure? Or maybe it's a story about life struggling? Or maybe it's your ups and downs? Do you have any stories that you remember even after many years? I do. I do have and remember such stories. Such stories are really important in our life. They impact our social, economical, and other spheres of life. But let's see, how does it work and why do these stories become so impactful? The impactful story usually have either full of drama or has a conflict inside it. It has its ups and downs and final climax. Usually such stories trigger your emotions and they apply to your values. They make you think about your own life. Probably it would be easier to provide you just with a set of facts instead of telling a story. We would save time. It would be easier to analyze such data. It would be more objective. However, according to the research, when we provide the statistic data to the audience, the language part of the brain gets activated, so we can understand but not feel. When the story is told, the audience feels the story, and the most part of the brain is activated and the meaning is extracted. The meaning of the story comes from the personal connection when the audience listens to the story. And if the story is told well, the people feel connected not only to the story, but also to the storyteller. So, The result of the research proved that stories that are personal and that are emotional compelling engage more of our brain, and thus are better remembered. And it's better than only a set of facts. They connect people, they share people's purposes, they connect us emotionally, and they make us overthink what we have. Listening to the story, you may get new experience, new ideas, but also you will overthink who you are, what you do, and where you go. If you had a look into your life, you would recognize that stories have defined you. The stories have shaped you, what you are today. These are such different moments in your life, small and big, that that stayed in your lasting memory and defined you. Thinking of a story helps you to figure out what story you want to create moving forward and the person you want to be. Stories are so powerful because they're meaningful, says Dr. Jennifer Acker, the behavioral scientist and professor of marketing at the Stanford Graduate School of Business. If you walk with a meaning, your story becomes a part of others, and you feel connected to others, and you find similar thinking people. Summarizing everything that was told today, the story must have real characters, sufficient conflict, and emotional core to influence other people. The story is not a set of facts, but this is a path fulfilled with emotions, feelings, purposes, and meaning. And in the result, impactful stories develop emotional connections, motivate us to look inside ourselves, find the meaning, and make the changes in our lives. Bless the stories for all they give us and all we take away from them. Oprah Winfrey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olga, for that delivery of your prepared speech. And now I'm going to give the floor to Sergio, who's going to be giving all of us feedback, and of course to you in particular, on how you delivered and everything else that has to do with the objectives of your prepared speech. Sergio, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I will start with Soraya, with the grammarian who was in charge with the grammar section. I actually have never heard about a tickle pink phrase before, but I do now, and I really enjoy the part of the structure of the day because I have trouble with the grammar part, and it really helped me a lot. Moving on with Areli.
Sorry, Sergio. If you don't mind, I believe you're only going to evaluate Olga's speech. The meeting evaluator is going to be Alex,
Okay.
if it's not a problem.
Okay.
And then you can, okay, sorry about that. It's, some misunderstanding.
Thanks for the information.
Okay.
Okay, I really enjoy Olga's speech, most of all because of their pauses that she did between the speech, and also the moderate hand motion, and one part when she was in some part she like looked above, like almost she didn't she was speaking and like improvising, so that was good. And of course, and also I really like the phrase, and when the stories and the storytellers are connected, it's easier to pay attention to it. So basically, that's what she did. She was telling us how how to captivate the attention of the listeners, and that's what she did. Um, I really love also what she did about the biographical reference, the Jennifer Acker, um, so that it wouldn't be only about her thoughts, but where she came, where she gets her thoughts, and finally, the last she ended with mm, with a quote by Oprah Winfrey that I really enjoyed as well. Bless the stories and all the learners uh, to learn from ourselves. And I think she covers all the points that we must have in a speech. She did a really good job.
Thank you, Sergio.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Olga, if you want to say anything else from what you've heard.
What I can say?
No, from what you've heard, if you want to. It seems as if you wanted to say something from what you've heard.
Yes, I wanted to say that I'm tickled pink.
That's
because
awesome.
I planned to use this phrase at the beginning and I forgot once again. So now I can say this.
Awesome. You know, it's for the grammarian to decide if you've used it at the right moment and everything else. So I see that we're actually running sort of much under time. You know, I'm of course standing under correction from more experienced Agora speakers. For your speech, Alex, is it possible to actually open the floor for others to give a feedback, or, you know, and this is not taking away from the brilliant and, you know, very incisive and precise feedback of Sergio, who was of course listening intently to give this feedback. But because we are running under time, I was just wondering if it's okay to do that.
You're the boss of the meeting, so it's your goal.
Okay. All right. Well, so with that said, of course, it will be my pleasure. I think it will be excellent for other people to give feedback to Olga about what they've heard, and of course to give a feedback of what things they liked, what things that she can improve upon, so we can all learn. So with that, the floor is yours. Lisa, you were very focused with the time, but I'm sure there's some things that you can give us feedback on with respect to Olga's speech. Okay, Lisa is there. She's back. All right, there you go.
Sorry, I had problem with my connection.
No problem, go ahead.
So I was really focused with the time and also with Olga's speech. Like I was missing her body language was on point, and she was her speech was well structured also. Like there was an introduction and then the body and then the conclusion. I liked her speech very much.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Clyda, are you there?
Yes.
Is there anything that you picked up and you could share with us according to what you've heard?
I like the way how she interpreted, and it was a very well structure speech with introduction, body, and conclusion. And it was a very inspiration speech. And for the end, she made things about how we go on, and it was a very prepared speech. Thank you.
Okay, well, Clyda, thank you for attempting to give us some feedback. It was a little bit difficult to hear. It was choppy, so there were just words which were cut. In any case, we will try again with another participant today. Excuse me. Nawal, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Very good, Sarah.
Thank you.
Great. Just wondering if Olga, she is life coach, because really I was impressed with her speech. Because of the hook she provided at the beginning of the introduction, she was talking about his story, the story. I thought that she will speak about a personal experience. And then she was talking about the positive effects of the story. I am correct, isn't it? So I was really impressed with her speech, and I've noticed that all the participants were attracted, and she grabbed our attention very, 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 in a clever way, I mean, and very, very good. Bravo, Olga. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Nawal, for sharing that with us. And of course, obviously with Olga. Now, I have between Ulaya, I'm going to ask all of you to give feedback because I think, we have the time and I just heard that I'm the boss, so.
By the way, you deserve it, Sarah. You're the boss. You deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really?
I promise to use this power with responsibility.
It suits you.
Go ahead, Juliana.
Okay. I want to say that I see Olga all time, and I like her speech, and I want to say that she's actress. She gives as more energy, as more interesting information, as more smile. I like when I saw in my screen that Olga takes some role, and I know that it was some performance for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Juliana, very much.
Awesome. Very good. Okay, Areli, your turn.
Okay, I want to say that you really got my attention since the beginning. It made me thought about my women's seminar that I took for a weekend, and you actually remind me one of the women that talk about mind power and all these wonderful, powerful women all over the world talking about empowerment and all that stuff about women. So whenever you start talking, I was like, wow. Like a mind power speaker kind of thing. I was like, wow. But anyways, I want to say that your speech were well prepared, very structured, and yeah, I get the part when you say about stories. Yes, it's connected with a storyteller or any story that goes into your personal life. It is true. I'm agreed with what you speech. So wonderful. I like it.
Thank you, Areli.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Hareli. And Toraya, will you close off our round of feedback?
Alexander.
About Olga or about the grammar?
Well, about everything in general, because Alex is going to be doing the grand finale of evaluations.
So I want to, I want to assess the grammatic use of English. First of all, I want to thank you, Sarah and Alexander, for using the expression, and also thank you, Alexander, for the capture board on which you mentioned the word of the day, the to be tip, and the structure. I want to thank everyone for their interactions, and I want to thank Olga for its beautifully structured speech. My main intervention is going to be dedicated to language improvement mostly, and I'm going to start with Ali. Ali, in your speech, you mentioned he cannot kill him by his side, I think. Instead, say he couldn't take him down, to be more correct. For Clyda, you said born or acquired. So instead of saying born, it is better to say inherent or acquired. Also, instead of saying makes him benefit, it is better to say dwells benefits on it or on him. For Uliana, there's a quite language improvement advices. So you said it couldn't be with me on your comment to Arle's speech. Instead, say it didn't work with me, or I couldn't manage it out. To find something, not to find a thread, also to find about something. Okay. Yes, for the hot questions, since we're talking about imaginative situation, it is better to use the conditional. So if plus I, or the subject plus was or where, according to the situation, if it is possible, feasible or not, plus I would. For example, for Sergio, you asked him about his occupation. Sergio, you could have answered, if I was to change my occupation, I would be a veteran or something. So use the conditional. It is better for imaginative situation. For the pronunciation, for Ali as well. Ali, the word sword. You should stress on the D at the end. You not say sword and sword. You stress the D sound. Also for Clyda, we say Albania with an open R. And biological, you should put the stress on the third syllable. And I finished with the English grammar for Ali again. So you said the whole event lasts 2 hours. You should bear the second subject. So the whole event lasts 2 hours, and she likes to seize it. You should bear the infinitive in the second verb. So she likes to see it. One is conjugated, the other is in the infinitive form. So that's it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much for that very extensive feedback. And now at this stage, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our general meeting evaluator, Alexander.
I think we need to hear from the timer first.
Oui, sorry. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you again. Okay, Lisa, where are you? My apologies to you.
It's okay. So, according to my report, overall, almost everyone did well in meeting the required time. I will start with today we travel to. The maximum time was 5 minutes. I really did great with 4 minutes and 5 seconds. And then with the thought of the day part, the required time was has a maximum of 4 minutes. Clyda managed her time well, and she did her speech in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And moving on to the hot question master, Uliana was right on time with 15 minutes and 1 second, while the maximum was 15 minutes. And Olga Mamai with her prepared speech, she delivered her speech in 4 minutes and 41 seconds, while the required time was between 5 minutes and 7 minutes. So she could have spoken more. And then with the hot question speakers, we have Agora, which I believe is Nina, and Sergio and Noel. They should have spoken a little bit more because the required time was from 1 minute to 2 minutes. For Nina, she did 55 seconds, and Sergio 57, Noel 48 seconds. And then I did 1 minute and 14 seconds. Olga 1 minute and 1 second, which was right on time. And then Thoraya, while answering her hot question, did 2 minutes 43 seconds, a few seconds after the maximum. So yeah, that's it for today's video.
Thank you very much again, Lisa, for that feedback. We all learn from how much time we take, and I guess it all makes us a little bit more vigilant and controlled about what we share and how we speak. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think now is the right time to call on to Alex to give us an overall evaluation of today's meeting. Alex.
Thank you, Madam Meeting Leader. I am tickled pink with this meeting. So engrossing it was, and it proved that it's not about quantity, but about quality, because there was so much to like about the meeting and about how everyone did their roles. It was just amazing. One quick note I want to share with Olga, because I was deprived of my promised opportunity to give some feedback to her. And since everyone was praised her so much, by the way, one of the things it's usually useful to take into account is, especially if you attend meetings regularly, is to see the evolution and the progress of the person speaking. And for Olga, definitely it has been amazing. It has been, you should see your first recordings and then compare to the one today that you did today. Definitely it was a mesmerizing speech. I was completely dragged into it. I will not repeat all the praise that you've gotten, but I'll try to share some points for improvement as well. It would have been nice. By the way, you were borderline on what's a valid topic for a prepared speech, because there is a small bullet point there in the documentation of the general general basic educational path that mentions that the speeches from the basic path shouldn't be about public speaking, because it's all too easy, especially, for example, if you're doing a project on vocal variety, to do a speech on how to do vocal variety. But that's not the point, because the point is using public speaking as a means to an end, as a tool to achieve something, not as a goal in itself, as in many other places, unfortunately. Unless you want to become what someone else mentioned, like a life coach or a professional speaker. In that case, that's your end. That's fine. So it would have been interesting if the speech itself would have been a story, as an illustration of how stories, in fact, can thrill us and engage us. I missed a bit more examples of how to apply the theoretical structure that you were exposing. Other than that, I don't really have anything to offer in terms of improvement. I think your pacing was excellent. I think your vocal variety was excellent. The changes in vocal variety itself, the gestures, the structure, which was the goal of the project. So all that was perfect. Just some nitpicking here and there, so that at least you also carry something to work on as a takeaway.
Okay, thank you very much.
And now, as a meeting evaluation, starting with the meeting leader again. Excellent job, Sarah. I don't really know what you're so nervous about. You look like a natural doing this. And by the way, I don't know. I do hope that everyone was paying attention on what Sarah has been doing throughout the week, because leading a meeting during the meeting is only like 20% of the whole story. 80%, as I always say, 80% of being a meeting leader is or organizer or host of an event is what happens behind the curtains, what happens before the meeting itself. It involves a lot of chasing people, a lot of, hey, we're missing this role, who wants to do it, a lot of repeating stuff, and I'm sure Sarah is bored to death by now. But it is a road you have to walk along in order to be a great meeting leader or a great host. Only one small, very minuscule point for improvement in terms of these prepared speeches. It's usually better to give the floor to the evaluator so that he can share, in this case Serge, so that he can share the goals and the objectives, because otherwise it's a bit like Olga having to introduce herself and explain what she's going to do about it, and then in the speech it's a bit anticlimactic, let's put it that way. It would have been nicer if Olga could start directly with her thing. And another thing that is usually nice is if the meeting leader can learn something about every participant, so that there is more, let's say, a tidbit of information, some piece of trivia to introduce every participant. Regarding the timer, well done, Lisa. I love that for a change, the timer, in this particular case, you explain why we do it. I mean, what's the goal of having our speeches timed in the first place? And I like that the report was so detailed that, or excuse me, Suraya, so detailed was the report. The report was that you even timed yourself, which was quite a thing in the hot questions section. So well done. And I liked also very well, a lot that you didn't make this report sound monotonous, because you inserted small comments here and there, and that's a very welcome change, because usually the timers report is like rather boring, like reading the scores of a football match. So it's like, well. Now
Okay,
for
thank you.
the grammarian, Turaja, very well prepared. Again, I loved it. I love that you came up with the expression of the day. Indeed, it doesn't have to be the word of the day, and even the structure of the day. Well done. And they were at the right level. They were neither too common so as to not to make any change in our speeches, nor too obscure. I remember in the past meeting we had a word of the day which was tranche, which is a very economic word, and it's, for example, a very difficult word to use outside of the economic world. Tranches of risk or tranches of money, but not in this case. And the speakers proved you right in the fact that it was very used. And a general, I have a small comment for Arely. I am not agree with you. You have that grammatical construction on which I remember that you were called to order during the last meeting, and you persist in using it. It's either I agree or I am in agreement, but not I am agree. And I'm sorry to mention it, but it's like a hammer hitting the audience on the head. So please try to focus on that to remove it from your, and especially because it's not only wrong, but it's like your parasitic expression, so it's double the damage because you repeat it so often. Almost every third sentence that you make starts with that sentence, with that expression. And one final comment in general for people that provided feedback in one section or another. try always to come up with some points for improvements for the speaker. Don't try to, let's say, view this as I don't have experience, so I cannot really, let's say, offer any suggestions because I'm not an academic of public speaking. Instead, try to think how you personally would have liked the speech to have been. So would you rather had a longer speech, a shorter speech, a more persuasive speech, a more dynamic speech? So don't shy away. And of course, it's just remember that it's your opinion. So don't shy away from sharing it. And the speakers, of course, should expect that there are going to be contradictory opinions. For some speakers, for some listeners, they could say, "Oh, it was too fast, I didn't get anything, or I would have liked some more to move on to be more on the abstract plane." And some others could say, well, like me, I would have liked more examples in case of the storytelling. But try always to come with at least with 1 or 2 points for improvement for the speaker, your personal opinion. Other than that, I think it was a marvelous meeting, and definitely time flies. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Meeting Leader.
Well, thank you for everybody who participated today. Thank you for attending. It's always a pleasure. I think I attend, and I think many of you attend because we all get something from it. We learn. We also enjoy each other's company, right? So having said that, with regards to the small interaction, I saw that as one of the roles. I'm asking all of you, and actually I was also inspired because of what Uliana said. Oh, we're all here, but I don't know stuff about you. I thought a very efficient way of doing this would be this. How about all of us, I don't know how, in the document, could actually write a little something of an introduction about ourselves, like just maybe 2 or 3 lines, how you want to be introduced. Because imagine that if a meeting leader is doing this, it's just going to be like, Sergio, tell me, you know what I mean? So that would be a nice way of, like just having it there. And therefore, for me as a meeting leader, then, okay, Sergio, he's a lawyer. He's got one of, a dog, a pet dog, its name is blah, blah, whatever you want to be said about you, and it'll always be there. And then it'll just be the role of the meeting leader or whatever to kind of have it there and just use it. Okay, how about that as a solution? I'm asking.
You mean we should write a comment here down on the chat board?
We have a Google Docs, right? You remember like where we write attendance? I'm saying like, we can just have a Google document which has all the attendees, the people who are, and everybody's free to do it, not forced. But for example, a little lines about me that I want to be introduced as. Imagine my lines about me would be like, I'm a business English coach, mother of a 5-year-old, born in South Africa and living in Madrid. You see what I mean? So a little short, whatever you want to say about yourself. And this is in a document so that imagine that you write for next week's meetings. I'm going to say, okay, volunteers for the new roles. So imagine that, for example, Nawal wants to do thought of the day. So when I do thought of the day, when Nawal has written her own small description of how she wants to be introduced about herself, I'll say, Nawal, she is a physicist and she likes volleyball and she speaks 3 languages. Whatever you want to say about yourself. Make sense?
Yeah, I agree with you, Sarah.
That's nice. It has only one issue, and that it removes all the secret because everyone will be already seeing. It removes all the surprise, all the introduction.
Yeah, but of course, actually maybe not, because maybe not everybody reads. Like sometimes you say the best place.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The best place to hide a secret is so believe. So you know what he said. There are many secrets here that are very safe because nobody reads. So
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, but Sarah, a few people like me have had trouble like filling the screen sheet, I think. So that would be a problem.
Okay. What, like the mechanics of it? Like you had problems accessing the sheet or something?
Yeah, I can. I think I can see the screen sheet, but I cannot
Edit it. Yeah.
edit it.
Okay. All right. No problem. I mean, that can be solved. You know, the idea is if you feel comfortable with doing that. I mean, you only share information that you know, it can even be false. You know, it can be false, but this will be fun because that's how I'm going to introduce you. You can say, you know, I'm a martial arts world champion, whatever you want, you know. So I think it will kind of make the meetings a little bit more agile from my own experience of like chasing after people, you know what I mean? Because then it'll be like also like contacting people, tell me something about you, you know, therefore I'll just get it there and it'll just be there all the time. So this is an idea.
Yeah.
It ends. Yeah.
So who's gonna be the next meeting leader, and she or he can try it? Silence in the room.
Yeah. So come on.
I elect Olga.
Yeah.
There's nothing like having friends.
She fits the role, I think. She has the privilege in the language and the presence. She has it all. I don't know if she would agree or not.
I can agree. And probably it will be a good experience because I have already been a meeting leader about a month and a half ago, I guess.
It's fun. I already did it last time. It's fun chasing people. Yay! You can do it, Olga.
If we don't have any other volunteers, guys, it's really great to be meeting leader.
How about you, Soraya?
Yeah.
Well,
because you also seem to have everything that you stuck to Olga.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Maybe not this for this time being, because I'm preparing my defense thesis. So.
Oh, wow.
I want to be.
But the thesis is something that takes years. So why wait years to be meeting leader?
No, because I'm defending it on July.
Okay.
So I'm preparing.
2020, right?
8/28.
No, I mean this year, July.
Yes, in this
okay.
July.
Okay.
So pardon me for this.
So how about you, Serge?
I will try to do different roles, but I think it would be nicer if I do it the next time.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
No, yes, I'm trying to change the roles, but I think the next time would be the right one for me.
How about Uliana?
Yeah, or Lisa.
No. my broken English. No, you won't understand me at all.
We've been understanding you for quite a while already.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a sense of humor, which is good for
yeah.
Of the,
you have good energy. You have
hello, and you have an assistant. What more can you wish for?
Exactly. With you, we have 2 attendants in 1, 2 for 1.
Guys, maybe the next time.
3 attendants. 3.
I promise. I want to teach something from you, and maybe in the next time.
Oh. Okay, I guess we'll sort it out on the chat, not to pressure anyone here right now, especially not to pressure
I was
Olga.
about to ask Lisa because she's so close
Lisa
to the camera. No, I don't want to press, but you were so close.
No, I'm actually not ready for a meeting leader role.
One is never ready for anything, really.
Never ready for anything.
Anyway, okay.
Maybe Naval.
She ran away.
She ran away.
Oh,
okay, we'll search it in the chat. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll sort out in the chat. So basically, for example, if Olga, wants to do it perfect, if nobody else, then maybe I'll probably like repeat to kind of get more comfortable, but I'd rather somebody else does it so that I can also learn from them. Guys, we're learning from each other, and we all understand each other. That's the most important part. So don't worry about, in fact, the meeting leader doesn't talk a lot, actually. How about that? You have to just, next is, the floor is yours. And then you keep quiet. Next is, the floor is yours. And you keep quiet. You see?
This is the right way to motivate people, It's good.
Okay. Well, anyway, without any further ado, we'll be in the chat talking, but thank you again. I wish you all a wonderful week, and that we are tickled pink until we see each other next Monday.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.